Friends, welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to have you here. Robert Imbriali here, and really looking forward to sharing with you all that's been going on. If you've been watching the news at all yesterday, you saw, and my volume seems a little low, you saw the craziness that went on in Maricopa County and Pennsylvania and everywhere else as well. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to dig into it a little bit more because it's worth talking about. You know, we have this idea that 2024, everything's going to be fine. It's just going to go back in the other direction. And we saw 2020, then we saw 2022, and now we see 2023. Same games being played, same thing over and over again. And that's not how we want to see things go. Let me bring in my wonderful co-host, Lewis. Lewis, how are you, my friend?
Great. Who the hell thinks 2024 is going to be fine?
A lot of people think that. I mean, it's crazy to think that we're going to put all our dice on one board and one day. And what happens if they steal that one too? Then we've got another 4 years of fighting in court that's not going to hear any cases, right?
It's ridiculous for people to think that 2024 is going to be fine. Although I don't even know that there will be a 2024 election, because at the speed of what the awakening is happening and the deep state falling and all the shenanigans going on, whether it's the deep state or the good guys, I think they're going to find a reason not to do a 2024 election. Maybe these little local elections will just be more evidence that there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And I think the work to do is going to be hard pressed for people to understand, but it's tear to the system down. And we need to rebuild in virtually every aspect of life. We need to absolutely tear the medical industry down. We have to tear the food industry down. We have to tear the education industry down, the judicial system down, our government down. Everything you can imagine needs to be taken down and rebuilt from scratch. And I think that's the only answer. In the meantime, what we can do is we can start holding the powers to be accountable to the highest level. Because when we start doing that, they're going to be part and parcel of tearing the system down to bring it back to where we need to be. And back to where we never really were.
Right. It's you know, it started out early yesterday, you know, election day yesterday. It started out early. We started to see already early in the morning, there were already reports of things going off. And of course, Maricopa County, gosh, we're so surprised that things would happen there that would be untoward for elections, right? What a big, big, big surprise. But it was happening also in, you know, we go back to Pennsylvania. Here they had the machines shutting down. They shut them down several districts due to votes getting flipped, of all things. Can you imagine votes being flipped on the machines? Wait a minute. The machines are perfect. They could never do that, right? So here's from a Gateway Pundit. Election day got off to a rough start in several districts in Northampton County, Pennsylvania. Lehigh Valley News has reported several voting machines in multiple districts across Northampton County are down due to between Judge Jack Piniella and Judge Victor Sabile for the Pennsylvania Superior Court.
So that is an amazing positive outcome. Because for that disclosure to come out on the day of an election, well between 24, that's actually the type of thing we want to happen. Because if you're going to take down the machines, you need the normies to see evidence that they're ineffective.
Right.
So I look at that as a completely positive thing.
Lehigh Valley News, right? So that's mainstream media as far as we're concerned over there. They're not right wing. Certainly, we look at that from that perspective. It is very good news to see that, and people can see now. Hey, wait a minute, machines can flip votes, because that was the big contention. It's like, no, the machine is perfect. Whatever you put in comes out, and now they're seeing it in real time. Not happening that way. They actually shut down the machines. This is new too. We didn't see this in the past.
Right.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I have this. That's a very, very positive outcome. So when people can see in real time that the machines are lying, and then see, the problem is we've been so conditioned in this country without precedents, nobody wants to make a decision.
Right.
You and I have had this talk before. The spineless, yellow-bellied judges that permeate our society won't make a decision unless another judge had the courage to make that decision in the first place.
Yep.
And I can tell you, it's the same thing in legislature. It's the same thing from city to city. They're all a bunch of spineless BS wimps. So when they see that one county says, okay, or one city says, look it, here's proof, we're going to do this, we're stepping up, they're going to say, okay, what are the ramifications? Did they get in trouble? Oh, okay, they're safe. Okay, now we can make the decision.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's true. And we, I say that we're filled with the country of soy boys, and we need to find the lumberjacks, because that's the way we need to run this country once again.
Oh, that's such a good analogy. And it's really true. It's like it takes that one person to stand up. I mean, can you imagine if Hillary Clinton would have won in 2016? All this would have been happening, and the country would have been sound asleep to it. We wouldn't have seen it as well as we can see it now, because Trump did what? He literally pulled back the curtain for us to see it. We didn't know how bad it was. We knew it was bad. I don't even think he knew how bad it was until he started to dig into it.
At risk of losing our mainstream audience, if Hillary Clinton was elected in 2016 right now via the internet, that's 100%
right
factual. So this is when people need to step up. And again, so remember your oath is getting a slow rollout right now, internally and externally. We're making some really cool changes there. The app, good news, bad news for you guys on the app. The app will be delayed until next week again. The Android. The good news, though, is it looks like the Apple is going to be accelerated, and that may be done very soon also, which we thought that would be months away. So it looks like maybe they'll both be out next week or really close to each other. So that's very exciting news. But the challenge is, and guys, if you're not getting notifications from Remember Your Oath, don't worry about it. That doesn't mean you're not signed up to it. It just means you didn't get a notification. That's a whole nother system that's not even important. Don't worry about that. But in regards to that, also, the fact that we get so many views on this program alone, and I've been on several other programs with different audiences. And there has been a tepid response to going to rememberyouroath.com. Tells me that a lot of you people, you're just viewers and you're not doers. And this country will not get flipped, and this world will not get flipped until we the people say we're going to stand up. And that's just the honest to God truth. It's not going to happen. Everybody's waiting for somebody to ride in on a white horse or a white Pegasus. That's all fine and good. But in whether you're a fan of President Trump or not, he's very poignantly, and we played a video of his yesterday, is saying it's in we the people's hands now. So if you guys aren't grasping that, you need to get that in your skull. It's we the people. There's not much more that any good guys can do in the background. We the people need to step up and take the reins. And we can do it because we actually do have the power. So all I'm saying, guys, get up, go to rememberyouroath.com, and just all you have to do is put your email in there. That's it. That's it. And I have a lot of stuff coming there within the next week that you guys can be very, very excited about. So you definitely want to get your email in on there. Admins, just so you know, appreciate how hard you're working. We're getting a lot of complaints that you're a little bit too aggressive on deleting people out of the chat. We do believe in freedom of speech, so please do. If it's a blatant advertisement or it's an absolute troll, go ahead and delete them. But if you're not sure, if just somebody may have a disagreement with us, that's fine. I definitely don't want a purified chat. I want people to be able to have a discussion. If you feel the need to ban somebody, can you do a screenshot of it? Because I'm getting hammered with people that have gotten banned, and two of the people I don't think should have been, just because I know who they are. So that's a live announcement. Sorry guys, this is the way we run our deal. We do want a counter narrative. We want people to have a discussion, and we do not want people to wholesale agree with us. So moderators, I appreciate you. But if that is what you are doing,
election.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because it's caused by a network issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if that was true, the good news is then the Dominion type machines couldn't get a signal to change the votes because they are connected via the internet.
Yep.
That's already been proven.
Yep.
So this is a dirty county, guys, and we're still in the mix of it. I can tell you, I get reports from these mama bears almost daily, and they're telling me how disgusting, and they're constantly fighting and getting shut down, but they are going, and we're making progress. They are making progress. I can't take any credit for it. So everything's coming down. We are going to win this war on the ground, on these local places like the Board of Supervisors, so on and so forth. So the more stuff that comes out is actually great, because remember before in 2020, it took a long time for us to get any information. 22, we got information quicker. We get information real time now in 2023.
It was the same day. It was on Tuesday. Yeah. So on election day, this was coming out. Good point. In 2020, it took us months to uncover this because they had it so well covered, and we didn't really know where to look because we didn't know really what was going on. But as we dug into it, and Catherine Engelbrecht and Greg Phillips and people like that were really, really on top of this, were looking into it. They got to see a lot of what was going on. And now we kind of know what to look for. So we're catching them quicker, but they're still playing the games because no one's been punished, right? And if there's no consequence, there's no behavior change, right? This is the way it works. Anyone who's had kids knows that. If you don't ground them, they're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. There's no consequence, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey guys, if you're watching right now, please hit that like button. We're noticing the likes are low compared to how many people are watching live. Please hit that thumbs up.
Helps us with the algorithms, helps us gain more viewers as well. And double check too that you're still following the channel, because a lot of people said they were unfollowed for some reason. Not our fault. We're not doing that. I don't think we could even do that. There's nothing in the back end that says we can do that. So just double check that you're still following the channel. All right, we have a tweet from Benny Johnson here. He was talking about Romney McDaniel. When she took over the GOP in 2017, Republicans have now lost 8 governor races, 3 Senate seats, 19 House seats, 1 presidential race, and yesterday we suffered humiliating losses in deep red states, Ohio and Kentucky. Republicans are sick of Ronna McDaniel using the same losing strategy for 6 years in a row. If she won't resign, she needs to be removed. You can see the anger now boiling up on the Republican side from, she's corporate. I mean, she's worried about the donors. She's worried about she's on the rhino side of this thing. She's not looking after.
Yes, yes and no. I've studied a lot about this, and it's true. She brings in the rhinos, and nowadays it's hard for the rhinos to get any traction, which is great news. The bad news is then you're going to get the Democrat.
Right.
Problem is they're focusing on, the red didn't win, the blue won, right? What they're really seeing is the rhino didn't win, the blue one. And remember, the elections are more important in the midterms than they are in the final election. So anytime you get a rhino in there, you shouldn't care whether the Democrat won. Sometimes the rhino's a lot worse. Just look at McCain in Arizona, right? So that I wouldn't be that's a myth. That's a psyop, you guys. When you're upset, you're like, oh, red didn't win. Well, if your red was a rhino, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. The rhinos are generally worse. It's because they're the person that lies and stabs you in the back, not the person that says something bad to your face.
Yep.
So stop with the red and the blue. So when they write these articles, I get frustrated because it's just another psyop. They can blame it on Ronald McDonald all day long. But the reality is twofold. We didn't do our job getting the right person in instead of the rhino, right? You can blame her all day long, but the reality is we, the people, have control of that.
We failed in the primaries. You're right. The primaries were 100%. Yeah.
It's all about the primaries.
Yeah.
So, and I said midterms. It was the primaries. Yeah. Thank you. Here's another problem, and this is not what people are looking at. And I read a lot into this. And this is scary for us, guys, and this is where we need to pay attention. The Democrats wholesale are running on one platform only. and that platform is abortion. It's literally their only thing, and they are running hard on abortion. So what they do is whoever that's running against them, they tie to the person that has the most abortion restrictions in that state. It's a very calculated game. They know exactly what they're doing. And they're winning a lot because of that issue also. It's not just Ronald McDonald, right? It's not just her. It is absolutely because they are highly focused on the abortion issue in such a level that they're scaring, and the women's turnout is really high. And so they're scaring the women in. They literally are playing uncle, right? And they said, well, if I was to do it the way this guy wants to do it because he's friends with so-and-so, I wouldn't be able to abort my baby underage. Yep. This is the game they're playing. Yep. So we have to be very cognizant of what the real game is here. It's the Democrats. It's all about abortion, only abortion. The good news is that really exposes the good versus evil. Big time. Is that's the most important thing to them is abortion. We do have a chance. And then we could work on focusing on our primaries and not letting a rhino in there. But there's a lot of games, and people don't understand how sophisticated this is. I've seen many times within cities, what happens is they'll put up one Republican, a good conservative, against a Democrat, and the Republican would win wholesale. And the next thing you know, there's another person that runs as a Republican, and then another person that runs as a Republican. They dilute the votes, and somebody with less than 30%, a Democrat, gets in, where the Republicans would have got 65 to 70% of the vote if it was one person. And they find out these people were financed by George Soros, or they were previously Democrats. Yep. So guys, it's so sophisticated what the left does. It's disgusting to the highest level. So eventually we're going to, or if not sooner than later, we need to just tear down the system. Again, this is why I think 2024 elections may not even go off. If they do, well, we'll deal with that when the time comes. But in the meantime, all the focus should be on the primaries. Not that I have opinion on this at all.
Well, you look at the DNC, and you look, where is that talking point coming from? They're really well funded, number one. Number two, they also have great computer systems, and they have the best minds to come up with what those hot topics are going to be, and they feed it to all their candidates. Unlike on the Republican side, they're running on very old technology from what I hear. They don't have the latest computers. They don't have the best minds, right? And so you've got this messaging going out, and you got these candidates that, they're campaigning on the wrong things. They're not doing what the Democrats are doing. And I agree with you. We don't want the rhinos in there. But there was also, on our side, there was very low voter turnout. Republicans almost didn't show up yesterday. Well, it's not a presidential, so we're not going to. Really? But it still matters. It still counts.
I would step back on that narrative for a second going on.
We don't know.
In the machine. So we don't know if there really was a low turnout. That's a good narrative for the mainstream media to push. I would say, though, that we've been hearing the disenfranchised conversation from the Democrats for 10 years.
Yep.
And I know, because of boots on the ground, and Robert, you know this, you have a lot more conversations on this too. The Republicans, the true red conservatives, let's call them conservatives, they feel like they are definitely disenfranchised. And there was a movement from some of my friends, even within Democrats, are going to say, oh no, look, here's the numbers. There's no cheating. This is the cleanest election ever. Audit away. You know when they're going to say audit? Is when we don't show up. That's when we're going to say audit, go check everything, right? So for people within inside the Patriot movement, just to say, well, just don't vote, you're literally playing right into their game, because now they can show you the numbers, show you that there was no cheating, and show that you lost fair and square. So I would really be careful to put that message out there. And I had conversations and arguments with people I'm in the Patriot movement I'm fairly close to, and I told them why I disagreed with that. By the way, we're still friends. It's not, it's just, you can have a conversation. People are so afraid of conversations now.
I asked Phoebe if she returned her 6 ballots, and this election, she kept getting more and more of them. Like, yeah, it's the game, right? And you're right. If we don't show up, then we can't stand to be counted. Even if we're miscounted, at least if there's an audit, maybe we can correct it at that point. Yeah, I think staying at home is the wrong message. Certainly, we need to show up, and then when polling places aren't open like they're supposed to be open, then we need to stay there and create a fuss. You saw those people in that video we played, the opening video. They were all leaving. They were like, "Well, I guess I'm going to throw my ballot in the trash and go home."
Yep. That's what they wanted too.
Yep.
By the way, the percentage of conservatives. I'm really getting away from this Republican Democrat stuff. So the percentage of conservatives that work and vote after work compared to liberals that work and vote after work is almost 2 to 1.
Wow.
Talk about disenfranchising a voter.
Yeah.
All you do is shut the polls down at 4:30. They get to go vote after work and they can't vote. Guess who's winning the election again?
Yep.
They know every trick, guys. Every trick. And Robert, you hit on a great point when you said they have the greatest minds. They do. And it doesn't mean that the GOP or the conservatives don't have great minds, right? The difference is the liberals, the Democrats, the Marxist left, they purchase the greatest minds. Right? And I think you mean more from a strategic analytical standpoint, they have the greatest minds.
Not the candidates. Yeah, not the candidates for sure.
Yeah. Not the candidates and not the common sense.
Yep.
But you're talking about from a strategic operational standpoint, they do. They have phenomenal minds,
yep.
Right? We can beat all of this. All we have to do is stand up and make a difference. We can't stay behind our keyboard anymore. We just can't do it.
And that's, that was the impetus for creating rememberyouroath.com, is to help people have more of a voice, because we need that. And there's just not many opportunities for us to do that. You can stand behind your computer and share all day long. Not a bad thing. Continue doing that. It helps because, planting one seed, we'll get that big oak tree. At some point, it may not do anything, but the one that does is the one that makes all the difference. However, we need more. And I think we're at the point now where we need more action. We keep thinking, it would be 2024, 2020, or sooner. But we thought, when they installed Biden, that 6 weeks would go by and that would get reversed. We're in it 3 years now and it's not reversed. So, hope is not enough. Now we need action. We need to get into action at this point.
Well, there is some proof here, though. So this is very interesting. I'm glad you brought this up. So people were very upset in 2020 when Trump didn't win, right? And they were hoping that it would all get fixed and overturned right away. I was one,
yep.
On January 6th, I'm screaming, we still got this. We'll figure it out, right? So I get it. Now, based on the fact of so far the tepid response to Remember Your Oath, by the way, all the patriots that are in it and working fell in love with this. They're like, this is the best thing ever, and the app is coming out. This is going to be the best thing ever. Those are the people fighting them, right? So the fact that we have a tepid response at this moment, and I think it's going to grow dramatically, and we're going to advertise it, and I'll be on a lot of shows promoting this. So I believe it's going to go huge. But my point is the fact that there's a tepid response right now is an indication of how it is great that President Trump did not take office in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
We're not ready. We haven't earned it. And we just haven't earned it. And I can tell you that if you haven't gone on to rememberyouroath.com and just put in your email, it could even be, make sure if you don't want it attached to your name, because that's some BS fear that people have, right? Then go ahead and get another email and put it in there. No big deal. But that alone tells me that you're not ready. You're not ready for this. You're like, you'll sit back and accept it, but you're not ready because you're not willing to get in the fight. We have to get in the fight now. This is a time. President Trump is virtually begging us to get in the fight right now. And I can tell you, because I've talked to people behind the scenes, he's frustrated, very frustrated that not very many people are standing up. Literally at his rallies, he's like, well, everybody shows up here, but what do they go to? They just go home. They don't go on their school boards. They don't do anything. So I can tell you, I am hearing it firsthand that President Trump is frustrated with we the people. So I don't know, guys. Writing's on the wall. We can do something about it.
Yeah.
Let's do something about it.
Well, truth is, there's more of us than there are of them, and if we all were to stand up against this stuff, it would end pretty quickly. It may not end tomorrow, but it will certainly end within months. It'll be dissolved. It can't continue because the truth of the matter is, this is something people don't understand.
I'll just mention it here. In Great Britain right now, in that small country, and compared to our population, we have at least 5 times the videos of people standing up in that country.
Yep.
Than we get here.
Yep.
In the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on you. That's all I have to say.
Why? Because we need a permit before we need permission before we can stage a protest.
Yeah,
that goes against the idea of a protest.
or do we need it to get as bad as it is in the UK? Is that what you're waiting for? Does it need to be as bad as it is in Canada or as bad as it is in Australia? Hell, let's just make it as bad as Venezuela, and then maybe you'll get your ass up and do something.
Well, you brought up a good point in Canada, right? What happened here on January 6th scared everyone from taking a stand. What happened in Canada with the trucker protest was the same thing. They went after them. They froze their bank accounts. They charged them. All the same thing, same game. Do you see any protests in Canada anymore? And it's progressively gotten worse. Nothing. And I think January 6th, sad to say, that was their idea, was a psyop to scare us. And I think it succeeded.
So what I said, January 6th was a multiple psyop, and one of the psyops was the psyop after the psyop. So what happened is, when confusion and so on and so forth, and going into the Capitol, and then opening the doors and letting even the good people into the Capitol, right? And then they started putting people in jail. They realized, oh, this is huge. What a benefit to us. Let's just start throwing people in jail. Let's not let them out. Let's not have any due process whatsoever, right? And then everybody is going to back down. They did.
It sure happened.
Worked tremendously. Now, the thing that people don't understand is DC is absolutely 100% a corporation. There's no doubt about it, right? DC is one of the only places, even if you don't agree with your local government, there is a due process of sorts where you could not be holding people indefinitely without giving them a trial. You just couldn't do it in most states and counties and cities. So they're using the DC as the model, but they can't do that everywhere, right? That's it's like a different country. So if people don't understand, it's a country within a country. So bad that my team knew it during the truth tours. They would drive me, they refused, even without me telling them, refused to go into DC. They drove around it just to make sure I wasn't picked up, because they knew how that country within a country works.
Yep.
So you guys can go do a lot. Great example. If you just look at the ladies, the mama bears, again, in Maricopa County, they're fired up. They're taken to a whole another level than you take it to in January 6th, right? And they're not going to be held accountable at anything that's going to matter. They'll try to play some games here and there. So we have the numbers. We just need to rise up and take our country back.
Well,
now.
I think we need tools, and we had the Neighborhood app for a while, and then they started banning all the patriots out of that. They started getting real upset about it, and it was that. But we need something like that, and your app is what fills the bill to connect all of us, to unite all of us, to say, hey, we've got this issue. We need to go down to the courthouse. We need to go down to the sheriff's office. We need to, we need to gather on Saturday and hold signs and protest this. Or what we need to be seen. It's not that the protest is going to make the difference. The protest doesn't make a difference. You're right. On its face, it doesn't. However, it plants a seed. People see the signs. They see the people who are enraged. Plants a seed. Now people start thinking, right? And you see enough of that happening, and you start to build momentum. And that momentum is what will cause the shift. A little bit at a time. It's not overnight. And people go, I just want the red pill. Give me. I want it right away. This is too big. This is the Queen Mary. We're trying to turn this thing around. It's taking a little while.
Yep, agreed.
Yep. Hey, guess what? Our good friend Dinesh got kicked out of Walmart and Amazon with his new movie, Police State. You can imagine why. Kind of crazy to think that way. But But, that's the way this works right now. It's just anybody who puts something out there that has some impact or power, and this movie really did. I mean, I was really impressed by this particular movie. You don't hear a lot of promotion about it for some reason, but it's a really good movie if you haven't seen it yet. Walmart and Amazon refuse to sell police state DVDs. Why? Well, no reason. They shut us down because they can. Rewarding companies who pride themselves on free expression certainly does send a strong message. We have seen with Bud Light and Target, this can prove quite effective as well. The travesty comes 1 week after the U.S. government blocked a transaction by the movie producers to Salem Media Group, as Jim Hoff previously reported of Gateway Pundit. The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network of the U.S. Department of Treasury intercepted a $106,000 payment to Salem Media to purchase ads for the movie. So they don't want this movie out there. They're going after it, not just blocking it in the stores. That was kind of the cover story. But you dig deeper, they even blocked the transaction that they spent $106,000 for advertising. That's why we don't see any ads, right? You don't see any ads for it anymore. Like Dinesh is posting it.
So all three entities, Walmart, Amazon, and Salem Media, gave no justification for this action whatsoever.
Right.
I think that's where we need to follow up on.
Because they can. That's what they said. Because they can. There was no reason given.
Okay, so we're building an army, guys. Who wants to stand up? Go ahead and email us at screwbiggov@protonmail.com. Who wants to stand up and call Walmart, Amazon, and Salem and get a statement and say, what was the justification for removing or not removing the product from Amazon and Walmart, and why wouldn't you run ads for this movie?
Right. I think Salem Media is the company behind it.
What's that?
I think Salem Media are the producers of the movie. I think they're the ones who produce it. They're the ones who produced Dinesh's podcast as well.
I'm sorry, that's right.
Yeah.
Where did they put the money into though?
It was going from Dinesh, I think, to Salem Media or back. They weren't clear on that. The funds eventually returned to D'Souza. They were returned to D'Souza after public outcry.
Wait. So D'Souza gave the money to Salem for Salem to promote their own movie? Is that what it looks like?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, well, until we dig into that, guys, at least call Walmart. In fact, if everybody wants to do it, why don't you just call Walmart executives and Amazon executives and get a report back?
Yeah.
100 people could call. 1,000 people could call. Let's call them and find out why exactly would you pull this movie?
Yeah.
Why would you not sell this?
Because they were told so by the government not to carry it. They're trying to stop it, obviously. Yeah. Who is this organization here? The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network of the U.S. Department of Treasury. Never heard of that before.
No, it's amazing.
So we have another agency under the Department of Treasury. They intercepted the $106,000 payment to Salem Media to purchase ads for the movie. The funds were eventually returned to D'Souza after a public outcry. So were the funds going from D'Souza to Salem? Maybe. Because he launched it on Rumble. So maybe D'Souza collected the money and then he was giving that to Salem to buy the ads. Is what it seems like.
It's all disgusting in my opinion.
Well, they don't want this message out. I mean, that's the thing. And all of us have to be on top of this and look at, this really exposes how we're moving further and further towards becoming a police state with the surveillance, and it goes right up to the central digital banking currency, right? Those coins will be your digital prison. They'll be able to control everything, every aspect of your life.
Yeah, well, we are a police state. Just wait until people actually realize it.
Well, the movie brings that to the forefront. We're talking to that lady that he interviewed from North Korea. She was saying, you guys have no clue how close you are. You're a hair away from being a communist nation. And unless you stand up to it, like now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, it's like we got to stand up to it now. That's where we'll be. I always say we're on a bullet train toward communism, and we don't even realize it. It's so smooth and so fast, we're not even recognizing that we're moving in that direction. A little chip here, a little chip here, a little change here, a little change there. Boom, there we are. Crazy.
Yeah, it is. While you're doing your thing, I'm looking for, now you guys can, if you want to inundate Walmart, I don't have the executive office number yet. I'm going to be looking for it, but at least you can call 1-800-Walmart. There you go. 1-800.
Besides remote work trends, office workers have fled the progressive hellhole because of high taxes and out of control violent crime. Now the migrant crisis have made things even worse. Hate to see New York City going through this, but that's where we are. 2019, remember those days? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've seen the demise of New York City. I mean, it's had a precipitous drop. It's been crazy. So
yeah,
I mean, definitely nothing surprising there. It's even better that they're going after Trump so hard because he's literally exposing how bad, and he's exposing the before and the after.
Yep.
So all the stuff that happens to Trump is very helpful for us because it's part of the awakening process that everybody gets to see live and in person what's going on. Hey, folks, real quick, I did find the Amazon number 2, so you can call Amazon. It's 888-280-4331. 888-280-4331. Say, where is police state on your website?
Enough of us do it. It'll make a difference. And they do respond to customer pressure. We might not think it. We're just one phone call. But if one phone call is made by 100,000 people, it makes a difference. We said that too. It's like, oh, you call your representative and you get their voicemail. Doesn't make any difference. They don't listen to them anyway. They don't. But here's what does make a difference. The volume of calls they get, they take notice of it. So every day they walk in their office. How many phone calls we got today? We got, 1,000 phone calls. What were they mostly about? Well, they're angry about whatever. Oh, they take notice of that.
Yep.
So it does have an impact. It may not seem like it because you're only one vote, you're only one voice, but one voice with 100 of you, 1,000 of you doing the same thing makes a difference, right? Hey, we talked about the whole thing in Israel, that whole initial attack being staged and how it may not have been true. Well, there's a breaking story today, which is kind of interesting here. I'm going to show you this picture in 2 ways. The AP, CNN, Hamas terrorists with their fake hostage, the lady in the red. Hang on, give me a better shot. A little to the left. Come on, don't smile now.
Okay, so here's a question. If that's Hamas with a fake hostage, is that really Hamas?
That's a good question.
Because why
is the whole thing staged?
Right. Why would they want to be portrayed as taking hostages, old lady hostages?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good look for them.
Yeah.
So was it even them?
So now it folds in on top of itself. It's incestuous onto itself now. You know what I mean? Now it gets confusing.
We live in definitely upside down world
where we're going to put the blame on them. So we've got to make sure we get the imagery, that we got to make sure that they're the ones that are seen in the images that will be seen by all of us because we're not there.
Right. Right.
I learned this when I was 19 years old as a photojournalist. It's like the whole city of Montreal is going to see this event through my eyes. Wherever I point that camera, that's what they're going to see, right? So they have that power. They know they've got that power. So here's the image we want the world to see, even if it's staged. Makes you think, doesn't it?
It is crazy. Wow.
Yeah. All right. All right. So I had to look on the map a little bit for this story because I wanted to know if defenses were able to shoot down an American MQ-9 aircraft while it was carrying out hostile monitoring and spying activities in the airspace of Yemeni territorial waters and within the framework of American military support for the Israeli entity. If confirmed as accurate, this could draw the United States deeper into what could develop into a broader regional conflict.
Not true. Because the Houthis are not part of the official Yemen military. They are a rebel group within inside Yemen. They may not get crushed by the Yemen military, like they may let them do whatever they want, but we've already, maybe people don't know this, last week we actually hit places in Yemen where the rebels were. So we've already been engaged with the rebels over there. I think unless they do something huge, this will be more of a pinpoint action. It will not be a big deal, and unless the Yemenis draw us into World War III, and the one person that's trying to prevent it is the guy they demonize the most, and that's Putin over in Russia. So it's a very interesting dynamic, but some are waking up, not everybody. We'll see what happens.
Well, we got to keep bringing it up to them and just letting people know, and everyone watching this show is learning too. And then they have something they can go back and have educated conversations with other people, let them know what's really going on, because it's hard to follow it because it's folded onto itself so many times. You go, okay, when it unfolds, what is it? Where is it? Where's the bottom? Where's the black and white understanding of this when there isn't one? It's very confusing. Right. Yeah, and I think it's intentionally confusing. They really want us to be confused. And then you have this division. It's like there's half the people supporting Israel, half the people supporting Palestine. If you don't support one or the other, they hate you. And it's like, what if you don't support either? Well, then you don't love the children.
Supposed to get us all frazzled and against each other. I mean, who would have thought right now that the students in the United States may be closer to the truth than the whole right conservative movement is right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who would have thought Talib and that group might be closer to the truth? I'm not saying they are. I'm saying though, this is how foggy this thing is right now. Is there's bad people in Israel that really are creating this war from the inside, and have already been proven to fund Hamas, right? Yep. And there's bad people with Hamas. So it's not what anybody thinks, and it's really sad. And I know people get so angry at me when I say this, but it's really wacky, and we are definitely an upside down world. I mean, that's why I said, who would have thought that you would have a bunch of liberal students supporting actions in Palestine, and now I don't agree with this, but going after Israel, right? And then you would have the whole, every Republican in Congress going after Hamas, have a war in this situation. I just don't think it would happen.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I don't think it would have happened, and there's a lot of finagling. But the question I always have is the deep state is so deep, even deeper than Trump even recognized. It's like, well, how much of it could he really have avoided? He avoided it for 4 years, but you could tell they were wringing their wrists about that. They were not happy about it at all. And, it's like that's going to boil to a certain point. It's going to pop no matter what. So you may be right. It's maybe a good thing that he didn't win the second term, right? So he wasn't involved in that piece of it. But he's continuing to expose it. And now we're seeing more. And we get to this point now where I think everyone's waking up to what's really going on. They go, it's not the story the media is telling us. And How do we know? Because you look at the media numbers and they're dropping and dropping and dropping. There's a fellow here in our Stop the Media Bias Now in our chat room posting some interesting stuff. So want to know who's behind that, who that account is. Maybe someone we want to talk to at some point.
No, I know. In fact, we were texting each other last week. He's a really good guy.
All right, good. Yeah. So
smart dudes, knows exactly what's going on. So here's the thing. There's one of my favorite sayings ever in business and fitness, right? And any goal setting that you want to do is short-term pain for long-term gain. We have to understand that's the cycle that we're in right now, right? This is all short-term pain, but we have to be able to even put ourselves through it. Get a little bit less sleep, make a couple more calls to whoever, show up at your meetings and get pouring out of your kids' libraries. We just have to do a little bit more. Put yourself through some short-term pain, and we're going to have long-term gain. And It is what it is.
Yep.
And it's a proven strategy. People aren't grasping it though.
Well, we're comfortable, right? And I think I think Dan Kennedy was talking about this back in 2007, that we're suffering from mass affluence now, and it's making us lazy. And I think he was right about that. And we don't, it's like we've got everything we want, all the toys, all the bells, all the whistles. We've got all the things. We've got the money. And now that's being taken away from us, right? We have less and less money. You can see if you go in the grocery stores, there's a little bit less choice now. There aren't as many brands. A lot of them have gone. Either the grocery stores aren't carrying them, or they're not making them anymore. Those companies have gone out of business. Maybe a combination of both. But it's getting, we're getting tightened down and a little bit more. And, you look at your privacy rights. What happened to your privacy? They believe that that's the way you go through life. And we grew up thinking, well, we have ultimate privacy. And now, with these cell phones and, Alexa devices and everything we've got going on. Oop, I hope it didn't trigger anybody's device there.
Alexa, shut the front door. Alexa, turn. We should, you know what? We're going to do a whole episode where we're just going to call it Alexa comments, and let's see how many Alexas get activated. Right now in the chat, everybody's going to say, I turned off my Alexa and threw it away a long time ago. We're just having fun, guys.
We'll call the episode Triggered. That's what we'll do.
Exactly.
Hey,
I think I'll just do it randomly from now on.
That's right. We should talk about our favorite supplement, NutraSwish.
Whoa.
This is good stuff.
Look what I did today. You're going to be so proud of me.
Oh, what did you do today?
The trifecta.
The trifecta. Awesome.
So, hey there, hi there, ho there. My name's Louis Herms, and I love NutraSwish.
Yep.
So anyways, folks, NutraSwish is amazing. Just think about the most powerful antioxidant on earth, which is glutathione. And what glutathione does is it sends the proper, it actually sparks your mitochondria, and your mitochondria sends the proper information to the rest of your body and your cells to go find what needs to be fixed and maximize its potential. Sounds wacky, but it's true. Anyways, what they've done is they take this liquid and they've nano-sized it. They've made it small enough, not nanobots. We don't have nanobots running through our mouth. Nanoparticles, so it's so small that when you swish it in your mouth, it absorbs in your system and it bypasses all the things that normally break down glutathione. Amazing product. I've got tremendous results from it. The stories that we're getting from everything, literally from head to toe, on the results that people are getting will blow your mind. So I definitely would recommend this. And now, NutraSkin, all you have to do is spray that on your face. Well, look at this, live. Woo! And it's amazing. It's a glutathione, and it has other things in there that are pretty true. And now they have Herms, which we're starting to get huge compliments on this. This is for women from teenage up that have phenomenal results. And not trying to be funny, but men, this should be a present for all of your wives. Trust me, your life will be much better. All right. So there you go. That was my commercial moment.
And you could pick it up, renegademedia.tv/energy, using a different link today. renegademedia.tv/energy. You could scan the QR code there to get all three of those products, and we certainly recommend them. And Louis and I are very particular about what we recommend, and these are products that we absolutely love and use daily. I'm using NutraSwish now 3 times a day, and couldn't be happier. Good stuff.
Yep.
Do you know that we're into this an hour? And my script said that we should be at the 30-minute mark right now.
Well, it's because you have a blustering fool on the other end called Louis Herms. What do you expect?
I love it. I think it's well worth the extra time.
The good news is, give me some of that content for tomorrow to make my workload less heavy.
Oh yeah, I'll just. There's only a couple of stories here. Let's see. I've got. I love this story. I'm going to cover this one because I think this will make a good conversation for us. What happens if we show that Trump won? Hey, there's actually somebody fighting back. My God. This was on Friday. Attorneys for Harrison Floyd, as well as counsel for the Georgia Secretary of State's office in Fulton County, convened for a hearing over a motion to quash subpoenas submitted by the defense. If President Trump did in fact win in Georgia, and they can prove it, it would be the easiest avenue for victory for those indicted. Now, you already know there's a bunch of them already took plea bargains, right? Plea deals here in Fulton County. So we got Sidney Powell, we had Jenna Ellis, we had there was two other guys that I can't remember their names off the top of my head. You remember them? You can share it. If not, it doesn't matter. But there's 4 now that took plea deals, and this Harrison Floyd is saying, no plea deal.
Yep.
Let's go. I'm going to show you that Trump actually won in Georgia. And
Finally.
this is what we wanted.
This is what we've been waiting
Right?
for. This is what we've been waiting for. Alexa, turn off all lights. Go ahead. So anyways. Anybody who has Alexa is going to hate me over the next couple of days.
Right.
Let me tell you. Alexa, put on soft jazz. So, yes, this is what we've been waiting for sure.
Yep.
And I'm very happy that this guy's going to be doing this. And here comes into discovery, too. This can open up a whole can of worms for the deep state. So I think this little case we should really pay attention to.
We really should, because they went in the discovery and they said, we want the ballots, we want this thing is Fulton County's already destroyed all this stuff. So they can't even produce it. Well, how do you expect to have a trial if you don't have the stuff you're trying to charge us with? You know what I mean? You don't have the proof one way or another. So this is what we wanted. We wanted a court to hear this. We wanted to be able to bring discovery. We wanted to be able to bring this stuff to the public's attention at a level that nobody could say, well, look, Trump lost all those court cases. They were never heard. They were all, denied on standing is what they were. They were never heard.
Thank you for saying that, because that's across the board, almost every election case was denied on standing.
Yep.
Across the board.
Yep.
Not even the Trump cases. Everywhere in the United States.
Even the case that brought by Texas, where had 14 states, they brought it to the Supreme Court. Oh, you guys don't have standing. Really?
Yep. So the dog whistle went out that this is the way you get rid of this case, and this is what they've done.
Yep. They all did it.
That's as deep state as it gets.
Yep. Same playbook, by the way. Same page, same chapter, same paragraph. Right? It's like, here's the playbook. Just go to page 94, paragraph 4. And this is how you get rid of it. Crazy. Hey, cars are now cheaper, electric cars. You didn't know this was coming. Tesla Model 3 is now cheaper than a Toyota Prius. Wall Street Journal is reporting that amid the decline in sales of electric vehicles, manufacturers and sellers are resorting to price cuts and other incentives to help reduce the buildup of unsold cars. I think there was a miscalculation about the demand and how much EVs would be coveted, said Joseph Yoon, an Edmunds analyst. Certain manufacturers, including Hyundai Motor and Ford Motor, are promoting cashback offers that reach up to $7,500 for select vehicles. Ford also reduced the price of its Mustang Mach-E SUV. Well, of course, if you saw the story we covered, it was last month, there's a parking lot full of what Ford is calling a Mustang, which to me looks nothing like a Mustang, as a former Mustang owner.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. If there's anybody in here that owns the Mustang E, right, I need you to just delete your account right now. Get rid of it. I've owned a few Mustangs. I was a huge Ford guy. Sorry, all Chevy guys. I did own a Camaro Z28 also, and I owned a Corvair, so I did own a few Chevys. But I can tell you what, it's just the fact when they put in the 70s, remember they put in a 4-cylinder Mustang, and then the 80s, I about lost my shit then. And then when I saw the Ford Mustang E, I was just disgusted. I'm like, are you kidding me? So if you own a Ford Mustang E, delete your account right now. Just delete it. Delete it. I don't want to hear from you ever again. And by the way, Alexa, play Louie Louie.
There you go. I'm glad I don't have mine in my room here, because it would be triggered all the time. They were not selling. Those fake Mustangs weren't selling. They had parking lots full of them. So reducing the price and giving up to $7,500 cash back. But, we played the video last week, and you saw at 1 o'clock in the morning, or it was 11:15 at night, I think the video was, the line for the chargers. And they need at least, an hour each to get charged up to like 80% or whatever it is. It's like, you've got to wait an hour for the next one. and you count that, it's like you're going to be there till 4 a.m. before you get to that charger. You know?
It's true.
And you can't get home. You have
No.
no other choice. You have to. You have to.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. The demise of electric cars is a wonderful thing.
Has to. They had thought, Tesla was thinking about this idea that instead of sitting there and charging, they would have a replaceable battery that you drive up. They'd roll the old battery out, put a new one in, you drive off again.
Right. I've heard about that. But here's the big lie. The big lie is that the combustion engine or the electric car is the way to go. It's not. A hydrogen-powered car,
Hydrogen, yep.
already been invented, already been tested, works wonderful. You need a combustion engine, or you would not need an electric engine either.
Well, it is combustion. It's burning the hydrogen.
Well, it's
right?
a little bit different, though.
Yeah.
You're right. You would not need a combustion engine that runs on oil and gas.
Right. Fossil. What we call fossil fuels, which are not fossil.
Not fossil fuel.
Yeah.
That's another misnomer from Rockefeller. It's never been a fossil fuel. But, let's go with fossil fuel for this argument. You wouldn't need fossil fuel. You only need purified water, actually.
And you could make the hydrogen at home, because Toyota has a hydrogen car on the market. It's been on the market since 2017. And they sell you the home hydrogen kit.
Yep.
220, you plug it in, you fill it up with water, it makes the hydrogen, fills the tank, you pump your car full of it.
Well, but they also, that the hydrogen engine that was created 50 years ago is the hydrogen components were more sophisticated than the one that Toyota put out. If that tells you. So they're intentionally dumbing down the technology to keep you buying gas and electric engines. It's just disgusting.
Crazy. You can always count on the Daily Mail.
I actually told my kids there's going to be a market for this about a year ago.
Yeah. Well, here's a guy
crazy.
Promoting it. $3,500 a load.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Well, I guess I'm correct, huh?
Yeah. So, yeah.
He said, I will come to you, and I'm wondering how that was spelled.
You want me to put it back up?
Because I think he may have. Let's see how he spelled it. Well, there you go. He fogged it out, so that tells you exactly what he did.
He had it spelled the correct way. You got it.
Oh,
good catch. I didn't catch that.
Pun intended. That guy has balls.
He does. So
wow.
It's interesting because there's a group of almost 250 members, and they have helped many people successfully start families. The members in this Facebook group range from young professionals, gay couples, single women from both the U.S. and U.K. to one more farm-raised, not farmer-raised baby on its way. Cute, huh?
That is awesome.
That is cute. In hockey, you know what a hat trick is, Louis?
Yes, I do. When you score 3 goals.
You score 3 goals in a game. And what happens after a hat trick is scored, that third goal? What do the fans do?
They throw an octopus on the ice. Is that right?
No, they throw hats on the ice. That's
hats.
The word. Hat trick.
See, I would have done the octopus.
Well, this woman here was a little creative. She didn't have a hat, so she threw whatever she could.
Oh, good for her. Good, right? You could call that 2 hats.
That's
right?
2 hats. 2 hats in one. Exactly.
2 covers for sure. Wow.
We have some fun. Yeah, we have some fun.
Alexa.